AquaEye came to our attention. We liked it right away. It's another piece that we put in our toolbox going to a scene. If we have a submersion, it's the first thing we take out in the area, and that's going to benefit the time on a response and the urgency right away. And we don't have to put a lot of guys in the water. It's basically a one-man operation that could get out there quick, scan a large area of water, make a determination, and go from there.
How have you incorporated AquaEye into your own procedures?
Sure, we have it into our standard operating procedures now. When we get a call, it goes with us. Just like, part of the apparatus, it goes with us to every call we have, whether it's a submersion or a swimmer in distress, boater in distress, whatever it is, the AquaEye goes with us.
Now, you have a lot of teams down here. You've got the beach teams, the teams that go out and do the water rescues out in the bay, the teams that go out and do the water rescue out in the ocean. What do you feel would be a good fit for the AquaEye? Sure,
we do mutual aid calls along the coast here. So whether or not we're working with the parks, we're working with the lifeguards, the Marine Division, this is a great team effort that we put forward using the AquaEye.
What areas do you think it works best in? Have you ever seen areas that it's not really fit for, or do you think it works pretty much across the board?
Yeah, it's basically a tool that the more you use it and practice with it, the better you get. In the ocean, when you have white water and aeration from the waves that are breaking, you'll get some distortion. But if you move to the outside of the breakers and shoot in towards the beach, we've learned to use the AquaEye, and it's been successful. The biggest thing that this does is it takes away the anomalies that are out there. So you have an anomaly, say we lost a pier years ago with Hurricane Sandy. We know by using the AquaEye there's still pilings out there. We had a submersion, and right away there were anomalies on there in front of that area, and that was the pier. The old pier is still there. So we could take the AquaEye in areas and right away scan that area and know what we're seeing before we put any bodies in the water. Also in the bay, there could be debris next to bulkheads that we go out there and do a pre-scan every year. So now we know what kind of water we're looking at before we do have an emergency out there. So it's a part of our pre-plan. So you go out there, we know where the coves are, we know where the inlets are, we know where the sedges are, we know what that water is and what's under the water. So if we get something on the AquaEye, we could determine right away whether that's an anomaly or not.
Okay, now we both know the bay fairly well. There are some channels that twist and turn as you're going through. And as you're going around curves, you will run up to flats on either side. How do you work your patterns for the areas to make sure you get a full coverage of the area that you're looking through?
Sure, the first thing that we look at, because we do have an inlet that's not too far from us, the Barnegat Inlet. So when you have that current pushing in, there's a whole plan in place, because you want to be down current. So you're moving with the current through that area. Because if you start the other way, you're going to be blown out of your area very quickly.
Would you recommend the AquaEye to anybody? And actually, have you recommended it?
Yeah, I've personally recommended it to fire departments, water rescue teams, dive teams that are close to us in the area, and they've also been successful with it. We had a submersion not too long ago in the ocean where we had 7 rescues in one day, and one of them was a submersion on there, and the team that we had worked with in the past with the AquaEye, they came down with us with their divers, and we dove the ocean. And so it was a team effort, and they had their unit, we had our unit, so we were able to go and look at a large ocean area that was undetermined. We did that very quickly.
That's what I like to hear. Now you're in an area where there's multiple types of knowledgeable and novice people on the water out here in the bays, with all different types of watercraft and just swimming. What is your most prevalent calls for water searches in the bay, and do most of them have life jackets on?
Yeah, I'll tell you, 99% of them do not have life preservers on at all. Not on them, not in the craft that they're in. We get a lot of rentals of paddle boards, kayaks, crabbing boats, pontoon boats, you name it. And 99% of the time they do not have a flotation device with them at all. And this is adults, kids, you name it. It could be any age. And it's a problem. They could go out when it's a beautiful day in the morning, and by 12 o'clock the south wind picks up, and a calm day could become very deadly very fast.
Yes, the south end of that bridge, south side of that bridge does get very rough very quick every afternoon.
That's right, yes.
Do you see areas in which the AquaEye works better than some other areas?
Yeah, the AquaEye will work great in calm water. Even if it's a little, maybe a little wind swell on it, you're still good to go. You're going to get very good at readings. And like I said before, you know, in the white water, you just have to know where to use it and how to use it and your method. It's a very slow scan from the left to the right, or the right to the left, and that will give you your search pattern. But like I said, the more you use it, the better you get, and the more confident you get with using it. Our team has been working with it for a couple years now, and each year, and the more we practice with it, the better we get and the more confident we get. So when we get an anomaly, or which is the zero, whether we're going to get an X, which is going to be a submergent body, we'll know very quickly.
We had one up in Pennsylvania, Portland, Pennsylvania, where they had other forms of sonar that were unable to locate the victim. And because the sonar would go pass over the victim was in mud. The AquaEye picked him up from 3 different angles. And we used that 3 different angle to ensure that that's what we were looking for. And the other one was for, to make sure that we could triangulate his location. Have you used procedures like that to help you triangulate in sometimes difficult areas?
Yeah, we had a very similar situation where we did have a submersion, and the other mutual aid company that was with us from the state was getting an indication. So what we did was we brought the AquaEye with a dive team, and there was it was probably in 15 feet of water, and there was a trench that was showing something in the water. When we went through the first time, it was an anomaly we were looking at. So what we did was, to rule that out, we went to 3 different locations and shot it. Sent the diver down, and it was boat rope and a crab trap wrapped up. So it was showing us the anomaly there to rule that out. So I certainly understand what you're saying, and we've definitely been there.
Now, we've also been using the AquaEye since it very first came out. What are the things you like about it in how it handles, and what are the things you see that they may have to improve upon to assist teams like ourselves? Sure.
The AquaEye is very easy to use. That's what I loved about it. We have a team of 10 guys that are experts in ocean rescue. They're rescue swimmers and boat operators, jet ski operators, Zodiac operators. So for them to pick this up, have a day of training, and be able to go out there a few days after the training and find somebody and recover somebody with urgency and quickness, to have that knowledge fast is excellent. So we look at it as you could always do maybe something a little bit differently with it. In the bay, when the water is calm, it's a lightweight piece of equipment that gets used. In the ocean, it's a little different because you could be bouncing around a little bit. We've added a couple little things to it just so it stays on somebody's person. It's a leash that gets attached to it with a line. So if they have to use both hands and not hold on to the trigger, they could do that. So that's something that we've added to it, and it's worked out great. But what's nice about the AquaEye, you could sit off the back of a Zodiac or sit on a rescue sled of a jet ski and scan an area, look at the data within a minute, and then move to your next location, and you're working quickly. And I look at that as the quicker we could do a recovery and get that victim back to their family is, number one in our list of things to do.
Does yours have the level on it, the level indicator?
I'm trying to think of the water level indicator.
No. Whether this is
level. No, I haven't seen that yet.
That's
the add-on's coming, right?
It's in there.
Oh, it is, yeah. Okay.
I mean, it can be updated.
Right. I think that's what we were talking about.
And I can.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yes.
So the other thing is nice about this is if you're panning out, if you're standing and you're panning, you could get a long range. Now, what we've learned in the ocean is when we're on the back of the rescue board, we could point that towards the bottom of the ocean and do a scan that way as well, and we're picking up depths, which we're learning and we're getting a lot better with.
The first thing we noticed that was if you're pointing it at the ground, you're not getting the out. And a lot of some of our team members were saying, "Oh, this thing doesn't work," but they were using it incorrectly. And when you bring it up and keep it level,
that's what you want. Slow and steady on the levee.
On the level.
Yeah, our training right away is everybody wants to do everything very fast. But it's training. Once you get the training down, it's like riding a bike. As soon as you get it, you're dialed in and you're going to find that victim quick.
This particular area here where I deal with mostly rivers and reservoirs, and moving rivers, you're dealing with currents, which is moving water, but in a different aspect. And you have to deal with the channels where I don't. I have to deal with the rocks in the rivers. Our main bane is the people that get out there in the river with alcohol and attitude. Yeah,
we get that. We get a party area not too far from us on the bay, and we could have 1,000 boats out there one day, 2,000, 3,000 on a weekend very easily, and we get a lot of prop strikes, and then we get a lot of missing people that wander off, and then the sun goes down, and then we're out there looking for missing persons. The AquaEye is great for getting out there. If we know an area where the person or victim's been, we could quickly deem whether or not there's somebody under the water or not very fast.
And what's your annual call rate?
Just to give you an idea, in September we had 40 ocean rescue calls. And that's just in September, and we're very busy June, July, and August.
And how many of them would be calls for underwater, submerged, missing?
Sure, we've had in our busy time in the summertime, we could get 4 to 5 submersions. We cover a large area, 23-mile area of the bay and the ocean. So we're going. Not only do we cover our town here in Seaside Heights, we also cover the neighboring towns. And with the AquaEye, that's certainly opened up. The mutual aid towns that we cover and some of the other island towns that are close to here know we have the AquaEye, and they don't hesitate to call us.
Now, you have lifeguards on the beaches and lifeguards at the bay beaches?
Yeah, very limited on the Bay Area. There are some guards down in that area, but we cover Island Beach State Park, which is 23 miles, and there's maybe one area that there's a guard area out. So you get clammers, fishermen on the bayside, a lot of kayak, paddle boards, rentals that go out there and are equipped to be out in some of the conditions there are. So we're constantly running calls in there.
And do you see any areas where there could be a better saturation with the AquaEye to get a more immediate response when
Sure.
there isn't currently?
I recommend all the ocean rescue, water rescue teams to have this as part of their response. Just like you have members and apparatus, this should be on every truck going to a water call. It's that important and that great of a tool to use. You know, in 2023 we are now, and we have the equipment that will make a difference. So it's important to have.
It is. When it first came out and I first contacted them, I was truly impressed because it is the first technical advancement in underwater rescue, underwater recovery in decades. And I see more possibilities that are, because it has the technology to take those sonar readings and hook it up with software to be able to read them and tell you where things are. I see the possibilities of hooking it up with other things that'll advance our craft better.
The one thing that I looked at the AquaEye early on, I've been on a lot of recoveries in my career, and one thing that myself and my team do not like doing is leaving a scene without a recovery, and the AquaEye has helped us to overcome that and get that victim back to the family as soon as possible.